What's up, guys? I haven't made an update video in quite a while, and quite a lot has happened. I've just been real busy working on it. I should have been documenting some of my progress, but we got a whole lot done from the first video. I mean, I think the first video you saw me fake patina in the truck, and come a long way since then, so check it out. So, I'll start from the front, I suppose. So from the front, got the whole front end on. New eBay 3-core radiator. Plenty of clearance for an electric fan because we're not going to run a mechanical. The 5.3 is in. Right now I'm hooking up my steering down to the Mustang 2 because it has a Mustang 2 on it now. It's a 5.3 with a pretty heavy duty cam in it, different springs, and I have LS7 lifters and trays. I just haven't put them in yet, but that'll get done down the road. Holley Terminator EFI, half the wires are ran and the other half aren't. It's pretty much hooked up. Got a Fuel Lab post filter, all 6AN braided stainless line from Russell. Kind of dressed the motor up a little bit, painted the coil covers. Low car throttle cable, kind of long, but once you put the cover on, you won't even see it. I believe these are Earl's quick disconnects for the stock fuel rail to 6AN. I'm running just the regular vacuum powered fuel pressure regulator, and other than that, and these are modified 9802 F-body headers that we had to cut. This was in my G-body before, so we cut them. And because these usually kick out, like they kick out this way, so we cut them and bent it and brought it back. So those will work for this. I got a classic Performance Products dual master cylinder power brake setup. Nothing in it yet. With a disc brake front drum rear proportioning valve. Have not hooked up lines yet. Still have to do something with the old e-brake. Started running all my wiring. I haven't gotten very far, but started doing that. Okay, I'll show you the stance of the truck. It's just on Corvette rallies for right now. Nothing too crazy. Those are my mock-up wheels. Moving on to the interior, which is where I have been putting most of my time lately. Still am doing wiring. This is the color scheme for the inside. Kind of ratty on the outside, but I want it kind of nice on the inside. Don't mind this seat. This is getting reupholstered. Let's see. Classic Performance Products. It's dark in here, but we'll work with it. Comes with everything. Bracket under the dash. All this is new. With a brake pedal. Just your plain Jane Speedway chintzy kind of throttle pedal, but it'll work for right now. Still working on a shifter mount. Still have to get my fuse block put up into place. I bit the bullet. I still got to paint it, but I went and bought a oh my god, what's the name of the company? I Did It column. It's a 30-inch universal, but it was posted for this truck with a bent Grant steering wheel, and this is pretty cool. I mean, as far as direct plug and play, I mean, it's 8-position tilt. Self-canceling turn signals. It's not a bad setup. It was not cheap, but there's 4 things I don't cheap out on, and that's fuel, electrical, brakes, and steering. Just 4 things you don't want to mess with. Making up my custom stainless for my gauges. I'll show you that in a second. So that is what it's going to look like, and I'm going to have my gauges inside, and I'm going to clear the shaft, and it'll all be nice and black and stainless. Factory clock Fixed the dashboard. The heater works. The wiper motor works. It's all good. I needed a seat, and one of my buddies from high school, his dad had a truck laying out back, and he doesn't drive it anymore. And these seats, I mean, they still have to get bolted down. They're mocked up. Just 4 bolts, solid bench with a slider, taking the headrests out. This is out of a 92 Chevy truck, and I have the same gap on the other side. So, I mean, they fit really nice. You know, and it'll slide forward and back, and I have the tilt, so still got to finish that door. But that is the interior so far. Sweet fake patina. Moving on to the bed. Okay. Mounted a Summit Racing battery box because we'll be running that in the bed. There's all my stainless braided lines to a Summit Racing with a bunch of junk acting like a shelf. 16-gallon fuel cell with a sending unit already pre-installed, 0 to 90 ohms, so I got to get the proper gauge. Nice filler cap, vent tube, and it has, if you see way down there past that wrench, that's my outlet, and then there's another one next to it. It's made for dual outlets, but I capped and plugged that other one for a drain. So, and here's the rear. I was originally going to do a Camaro rear, but finding a second generation Camaro rear that's in decent shape is actually a lot harder than it sounds. So, being that this truck, my dad has a 52 GMC, so being that this truck, and he's using a 72 Camaro rear, so being that this truck is just a tad bit wider, I went with a, now this is a 69 Chevelle. You can still see the top upper control arms, tabs, and everything else is ground off for leaves, axle over. You got to appreciate a nice G-body. And right now I have Corvette rallies on it. I got those for free with it, but those aren't going on. And with the rallies and the stance, I mean, it is, the truck's sitting perfect. A lot of guys would argue that maybe that's a little too low, but, you know, when you got a motor that's, I don't know, modestly 4.25 horse with a turbo 350 with, oh, forgot to mention, the rear end, the gears in the rear, when I bought it, he's like, I don't know what gears are in it. He goes, I think they're junk. Well, they're not junk. We popped it open. They're 373s, Richmond gears with a posi. So that's perfect for the turbo 350 because you don't want to be at 5,000 RPM at 70 miles an hour on a highway. So this seat, it's a shame that that's got a big old hole in it, but I'm going to pack that back full of foam and reupholster this in black. Get rid of the headrests. Finish up the rest of my interior. I got me a list of things that still got to get done. Wire fuel pump, headlights, turn signals, all that fun stuff. And then a lot of coolant stuff I got to get done. And then my miscellaneous, you know, brakes, put in a bed floor. But yeah, this engine bay looks really nice. It's a really nice cheap eBay radiator. I think it was like $150. It's a 3-core all aluminum direct factory fit. So it bolts right into where it's supposed to bolt. And fun part will be getting a lower radiator hose to go from there to there. So I'll probably just run a flex line. And then this one won't be too tough. Put an air intake on it. While we're talking about motors and fuel and stuff, I'll show you what I got set up for my fuel system, if you can see it. Here's my return line going to the back of the tank. Had to drill a new hole and put a nice bulkhead 6AN because I didn't want to run it through the top. You see a lot of guys run it through the vent, but then you lose your vent, so it doesn't really make sense. So coming out of the tank, on the back side here is the outlet 6AN to a Earl's pre-filter. I believe it's I always get the numbers mixed up. I want to say this is a 100 micron filter. And then my Walboro 255 inline. Pretty much the pump everybody runs for an LS swap. And then my fuel lines go all the way up to the front. That stuff wasn't too bad, but this Fuel Lab filter, That thing will hurt your pocketbook. That's about 120 bucks. That's a 10. Like, it's either a 100 or a 10. It's a really small one. I want to say it's a 10 micron. Protect the injectors. But yeah, ECU's all hooked up. It's pretty much all hooked up. I mean, in all reality, I just got to hook up a couple wires and I could fire it. But for right now, we're working on, I still got to strip this header down and repaint it to match this nice header. So, because we're trying to, like I said, fit the steering shaft. The Mustang 2 is from the Jimenez brothers out of California. Pretty good company, pretty good setup. Had a few questions, called them up. They, were more than happy to help. And there it is right there, a power rack. Did a little notch to the front cross member. All in all, the truck's going together pretty good. No big problems. So, yeah, that's the update. We're almost done. Still got to get taillights, headlights, all that electrical stuff. Oh, and if you're thinking about using a back seat out of a Bronco, just go ahead and don't do that. Save your time. That's it. That is it. Really wish this was a big window truck. But that's it for the update. Tell me what you think. Like, comment. Tell me I suck. Tell me it looks like shit. Do what you gotta do. Stay tuned for more.